Yo, yo, yo. Welcome back to the channel. So, today on AMC, we closed at $40.41. We went and we visited underneath the $40 level for a little while here. If we go to a smaller time frame, you'll be able to see it a little bit more clearly. Yeah, so, yesterday in the video, towards the end, I did kind of give a bit of a prediction. Obviously, I was pretty explicit about saying that it's not about predictions on this channel, but I did say that we could come down and test this 40-ish region on the day, and we went down and we did that. So obviously, I'm a genius, and everything I say is to be taken as gospel, and I'm never wrong. Just kidding. Not financial advice. Nothing in this video is. But yeah, so we came down to this like $39.75, $39.80-ish level. And currently in post market, we're up to $40.47. So we're getting a little bit of a bounce there. So that's good. And I just wanted to look at a few of these trend lines here. I know that yesterday we were talking about possible trend lines that we should be looking at on the bottom here, the bull trend for us to like be squeezing out of perhaps. So I guess we can look at them one at a time. So let me take them off. Oh, we'll save this one for last, I think. Wait. Yeah. So first we have this potential long-term bull trend that is from here in late December, early January. You can see here, and we'll draw it nice and exact because I know some people out there, they really want their trend lines to be, perfect and touching. Here, I'll even make it solid so you can see all the beautiful touch points. Wow. I mean, just look at it on the hourly. Oh, I mean, it's touching so many times. All right, so now let's go look at it in reference to where we are now. Because we were talking about how we're in this sort of symmetrical triangle slash, it's kind of like a bull flag if you measure it from here sort of thing. But this thing, it doesn't really like bull flags, So I think that more what we need to be focusing on is it's actually, just looking at it from a trend line perspective, right? We came down here, we tested this trend line here, bounced back up, a little bit of a bull trap occurred here, and then now we're underneath this trend line again. I mean, I'm sure if I wanted to, I could do that and then say that we're above it now. So let's go see. Yeah, see. So yeah, obviously there's like some key support, like a trend that's occurring here, and we're gonna be in a decision-making zone. I will say that at first glance, if we're looking at this particular trend line, without any other indicators up, this does kind of look like what AMC is going to want to do. Just looking at the trend line and based on this movement here, is going to want to curl up here and test this 42-ish, 42.50-ish kind of region. Now, what happens from there? It's gonna depend on a little bit. So let's look at RSI. And a cool way, like RSI is relative strength index, and what that means is what is the relative strength of the move versus the price action, right? And what's really important to note in there is like the strength comes from volume, right? So it's some formula of volume versus price that gives you your RSI. You can ask Astro if you want like an exact, like what the actual equation is. He knows that sort of stuff. He's a nerd. So anyway, don't tell him I said that because he would disown me. So yeah, so you can see here that we're curling up here. And then you're relatively low on your RSI on the hourly time frame at least. And so I think that it's pretty safe to say, I think it would be unlikely that we would continue lower after this. It's possible. I think that the more likely thing to happen over the course of the next few days based on this trend line is that we're going to see this curl up continue. Now, tomorrow is Friday, right? So there is one thing to consider about Fridays is that max pain is very, very, very key to Fridays. So let's see where Friday ends here. And I think I believe max pain, I can Google it right quick, but I believe max pain is at $40 as it was last week as well. Let's go see AMC pain. 1 second here. Why don't you edit your videos, Dave? I mean, come on. This is ridiculous. I have to sit here and wait for you to Google something. Yeah, the max pain is $40. So, honestly, like what this looks like to me, based on this trend line, is you're gonna see this sort of like it'll probably maybe gap up or something into the AM, come up to this like $42-ish region, and then by the end of your day, you're gonna be, you know, you might get a little sell off, and you'll be right around this region. All right. Just based on the history, you know, this thing loves max pain. Oh, dude, I forgot. I'm going to shout out a channel too. So for you guys who are really interested in cycle theory and fractal theory and all that stuff, there's a guy in my Discord who has been covering cycle and fractal theory. His name on YouTube is Mr. Books. He posted this video. I want you guys to all go check this video out, okay? This video is called Amc Fractal Cycle Solved. I know, but really it's true. It's really funny. But yeah, so basically he breaks down all these different phases of each fractal. And dude, he does a great job of it. I'm going to have to watch it a few more times. But it's a really good video. So make sure you go check this out. I'll have it linked down in the description. So make sure you go check that out. Tell him that I sent you. Show him some love. Dude's really smart. He says he's not a YouTuber. My answer, Mr. Books, if you're watching this, Booksy, whatever you want me to call you, is nobody's a YouTuber until they start making YouTube videos, I guess. I don't really consider myself a YouTuber, but I'm sure a lot of people do. So yeah, keep doing what you're doing, man. I would love to see you like update this like every day and give me your perspective on what phase of the fractal you think there will be. I would watch that video every day. So keep doing your thing, okay? But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to do that shout out right quick. Sorry. He paid me for that because I'm a shill. So, I'm a Booksy shill. So yeah, so let's look at the other trend lines. We're just doing analysis here. We're not trying to like predict the future or anything. Just trying to look at it. Look at what we think could possibly happen, and then we can talk about the future implications as well. Because obviously that's going to play a role in this. So you have 2 touch points on this one. I don't know, though, because now this one kind of looks like you might be in some sort of, like you've broken it a couple of times. Maybe you're in some sort of bear trap scenario, that sort of thing, from a bullish perspective, right? So like they may be looking at this trend line and going, oh, look, we broke below. We're going to keep going lower. And then you're going to hit this lower one. Yeah, I just don't. I can't see the price not curling up. It just seems strange. It seems like it would be a strange thing to happen if it didn't do that. It just makes too much sense at this point, right? And then what's the final trend line? Okay, so this one is pretty key. Okay, and I was talking to Square Root of 9 on Twitter. Let me shout out his Twitter. I was talking to him on Discord, and this kind of aligns with his thesis. Let me pull that up. Here, I'll show you his Twitter. Let me get my D off of the screen. This is him at Square Root of 9. Make sure you go check out his Twitter. He's got, dude, he does like these beautiful charts and stuff. Like he has a really good, like he draws his stuff like it's so pretty, dude. I wish my charts could be this pretty. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, he's got his own like fractal / cycle theory type thing going on. And this blue line kind of aligns with what he was saying. And I mean, I could be totally wrong, so you should go like ask him about it, not like trust me. But what he was basically saying is that see how we have these phases here? So you have this one. So it's like that's like a double bottom. And then you have this double bottom here. Maybe. Or maybe it was this one. I don't know. And then you have like this peak, right? And then what happens is you have this region of the chart that kind of floats above this trend line. That would be equivalent to like this region, basically, right? So that then this and this become the same, maybe. So then what he was saying is it's possible, and don't come out here talking about how He's a shill or something like that. He was telling me about his portfolio. This guy's an ape, okay? But he was saying basically, and I don't have the exact numbers and what it'll be. It's hard to tell the future, but he was saying that maybe we could come down here, scoop down like we did back here in May, scoop down like that, touch this trend line, and then that would start our upward trajectory, and we would get the rest of our things done. Whatever's going on. So yeah, so those are kind of the trend line theories. So let's get into the Wyckoff analysis. Let's take a look at that. I guess I could just delete all this. Okay. So yeah, let's look at the Wyckoff analysis. Where are those other trend lines? Let's look at it like this. All right, because this is the most like impending thing, right? Like this is like right in front of our face. We can't do anything about this. This is like we have 3 touches down here, 2 touches, and we have these touches back here as like the long-term bear trend. And so it goes back into what I have been saying for a while now, is that this is a Wyckoff accumulation, in my opinion. Where's that volume at for this? Yeah, so this would be like your sell climax. You have that real big red volume candle. Then you have a sell test. This would be the automatic reaction, that nice green candle right after, right? Nice green volume right after that sell climax. And then this would be like a sell test in phase B, according to the schematics. If you want to follow like the schematic, you don't really have to, but here. So this would be your phase A. It's really great to see all this come together, right? Like over the course of time. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you remember all the different theses, which still sounds like feces to me, that have been tossed around from the Wyckoff accumulation. We've stayed pretty much on course, right? Like we haven't deviated too much. Obviously, we've had to make adjustments, but so yeah, I think this is like your phase C right here probably, and this would be like your yeah, we've had to make adjustments, but we were pretty on point, you know. It's taking a little longer than maybe we would have expected, but you know, again, you can't tell the future. And then on these last points of support, what you're really looking for is you're looking for touches at relevant zones, right? So like here is a last point of support. See how the price got rejected here, supported here, rejected here, supported here, supported here, rejected here. Like, you know, there's a lot of key trading at this 34.67. So that's your last point of support. You come up here, I would say that you're having another LPS here, last point of support. And then watch, you're going to be able to see that once I do another horizontal, boom, you'll see the same sort of thing, right? You get the support, rejection, support, rejection. A lot of price action at this 37.55, right? And so now what this probably is another LPS. And what is this, 39.89? Yeah, so $40, right? We'll just call it $40, really key level. See all this trading, right? It's also a good psychological level, right? Like people just look at those nice round numbers. Oh, it's going to be $40. It's going to go over $40. Yeah, and so this is really good because you're seeing that kind of last point of support continue to go higher and higher, which, you know, you're getting higher lows, which is bullish. So going into this sort of region of the chart, I mean, going into next week, you're gonna know a little, you know, obviously you're gonna know a little bit more than you know now, because the price is gonna bottle up in here. I mean, you might see some real intense sideways trading at this like $41, $42 level, and then you're gonna see a breakout or a breakdown to one of two sides, right? You're gonna see upside or downside. Here come the YouTube comments of, so it can go up or down. Got it. Again, this is the point of the channel, is not for me to predict the future. I'm just looking at the technical side of things, and I think that it's pretty clear here that AMC is setting up to have somewhat of a decisive move, right? And that decisive move, it can go to either side, and you can still remain. Like I said, we could come back down here, do this 35 thing again or whatever, and then that would just be another phase. And then so what does that do to Wyckoff? I don't know. Like, so you got your, I guess what that would do is that would expand your phase C, so you're continuing the sideways trading, and then this would be like a LPS, and so then the trend line would be more like this, right? If you did that, so that would be like your higher highs and higher lows, from that perspective. Let's see how that connects to this, because I know this trend line has been a good one. Yeah, I mean, yeah, this looks like it could be good. So you just look at that. So these, from your sell test in phase B, this has been a really key area here. Let me get these horizontals off so it's a little bit easier to see what I'm talking about. But yeah, since we double bottom back here, like below 30, right? We had this double bottom. Whenever we've come in contact with this trend line that's connected to those 2 points, we've been turned around, right? So you saw we tried to approach it here on September 30th, down at this $33 kind of level, and we bounced right up. We came back down again to this like 34.50 at this time. This was October. We bounced right back up, right? So if we break down here, I would expect that this is going to be a pretty key support. And for those of you who are curious, let's draw like a circle here. I would say that over the course, like you could see the price go down to like the 34.50 to 37-ish kind of level in this time frame, like towards the end of November, if this thesis proves correct, right? If we do break down out of this sort of pennant thing that we got going on here, and we want to come back and test this trend line one more time, then that could be kind of your liftoff point. I guess you could look at this and say, okay, did we have a similar thing happen back here? You know, if you want to look at it from a cycle theory sort of perspective, let's be cyclical if we're going to be cyclical. Dave, come on, man. Be cyclical, bro. But yeah, here, you wanted to say, well, where did he say that double bottom was? He said it was here. Trey, I'm talking about square root of 9. Yeah, so yeah, that would be like an equivalent sort of move. Yeah, it makes sense. So yeah, just in case it's not clear, this is like square root of 9 thinks that this is like the same double bottom as like right here in August. And so the thesis would be, oh, we bounced off of this trend line this way, come back down, we kind of bear trap below it for a second, and we come back up. So those are all kind of the things that I'm watching for. I mean, at the end of the day, like, I'm not watching all of these things at one time. What I'm actually watching is this pennant, right, in relation to the Wyckoff accumulation pattern that we have been thinking that we're in. Right now, obviously there's some convergence on these trend lines, and so it's going to be key to see which direction we break, and from there we'll be able to have a better, more decisive thing. For tomorrow, again, if you're wondering about that, I think that you are going to see this sort of thing. So it's going to kind of pop up, maybe pre-market or post-market, go to that $42, $43 range, and then it's going to come back, settle down at this like $40 and kind of go sideways until going into next week. And you might, like I said before, you might continue to just squeeze into this pennant because AMC likes drama. And then you'll see which way it breaks. And then based on which way it breaks, obviously it could be a bull trap or it could be a bear trap to the downside and then reverse field. We'll just have to see where everything's at, what the volume looks like on a breakout to the upside versus the downside, and you know, at that time we'll be able to make a better decision. But overall, again, I think that you have a lot of bullish support here. So overall, I mean, I think that we're holding steady here. We're just nailing down some zones of support. Oh, and then I want to look at the VPVR as well. So this is an indicator that measures volume based on price rather than so like regular volume at the bottom of your screen is measured like based on the day, and VPVR is measured based on like the price area, right? So I hate how blocky it is, but I guess it doesn't really matter. We'll go here. All right, so you can see that the VPVR is on the side of the screen, and the reason that happens, let me take the volume off here. Maybe I'll just clear this all up. The reason that this is good to note is because it kind of shows you where the most volume is, and when there's a place that lacks volume, it tends to draw the volume there. And then you see this red line here at 37.18. This is your point of control, and what that means is basically this is where the most volume is in the visible range, and so it's going to be like your strongest support or resistance. And so that could kind of align with that thesis that maybe we come up here, do this thing, we do this, and then we come down and test this 37 one more time as a point of control, and then that's what kind of sends us to the upside as like that last point of support, right? And then just something to note about this, typically it's gonna look for liquidity, right? So wherever there's less trading volume and stuff like that, it's almost like institutions want to send the price to certain regions in order to validate or confirm or deny whether or not there's support or resistance there, right? So lower volume regions tend to draw a price so that then you can trade in that region, and then it'll help decide if it's fairly valued at that region. So something to note, something to look at. And then, yeah, so that's pretty much it. Those are the things I'm looking for. I guess we could look at OBV right quick before I dip on out of here. If I can figure out how to use TradingView, you would think that I would know. But I don't know what I'm doing. This is my first video. Yeah, so on balance volume. Let's see. I think, okay, is this... Yeah, so, okay, you're a little bit above. Let's go on a bigger time frame here. Yeah, so this is good right here. So you have from this $52 region down here to this like $42 region, the price has gone down, but you see the OBV, the on-balance volume, has actually gone up. So this could be a sign that institutions are buying more than the price might suggest right now, and that could be something that influences price in the future to go to the upside. That's what this indicator kind of tells you. I mean, obviously no indicator is perfect, but you know, this one, it can't, basically the way that it works is for every candle, so this is a 4-hour chart, it counts the volume, and then if it's a red candle, it subtracts the volume, and if it's a green candle, it adds the volume to this. And so that's how you get this sort of divergence where the price can go lower, but the OBV can go higher. Basically, it just means that like more of it has been bought up in the green candles than was sold off, if that makes sense. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. That's the video. I know we got a little lengthy there, whatever, but you know, I just like to do the drive down, drill down, all the things that I'm looking at so that you guys can give your opinion on it. My internet went down for a little while. That's why the video is a little bit later. The Patreon is still a thing that I'm going to be working on. I just got to like take my time with it. I wish the internet wouldn't have gone down, because then I could have kind of made my first Patreon videos. Mana, you know, which we've been watching for a little while now. I've been mentioning it few times, whatever, did break above this kind of key level here. It's coming back and retesting. I'm very optimistic on Mana right now. I love the chart. Looks like clear reaccumulation. It just had a big run. So maybe institutions were like, let me grab some of that, so they pick some up so that they can send it. So that's kind of what I'm looking at with Mana. Dogecoin has been dumping a little bit here, and honestly, from our understanding of the cycle, me, Rico, all those guys, it's kind of broken the cycle a little bit. But I'm still following it. I'm paying more attention to Mana right now, and I'm hoping Doge is still at these kind of lower levels by the time Mana is done doing what I think it might do. So yeah, so these are the types of plays that I'm gonna be covering on Patreon whenever that comes around. So just be on the lookout for that. And yeah, so that's pretty much the video. Appreciate you guys for sticking around till the end. Yeah, only 25 minutes. See, look, I can make short videos. All right, you guys have a good rest of your day, okay? Take it easy. Hopefully you gain something from the video. Y'all take it easy. Don't work too hard, all right? Peace, love, and prosperity, brother.